guys, we are back with another video. Before we get into the video, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Fans were asking R0B49 to get Nickimimaj on the What the Hailey beat, and he gladly agreed. Now, some fans were calling him fake because Scratch Off already announced that she was going to be on the What the Hailey remix, okay, with R0B49. And he also did a record last year with Cardi B, which flopped. I think the song was called In the Trash Can. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. It was called On the Money. So the record was called On the Money. It flopped on all the charts, Paolify, Apple Music, on the regular charts, on the Billboard charts. And so with that being said, the Cardi B fans have been paying that collaboration dust. But they feel as though R0B49 is being fake because Cardi B gave you collaboration, it flopped, and now you want to go to Nicki Minaj. That's usually how it goes, though. It's usually when people realize they're gearing up to flop with the other female rappers, they come back around to Onika, Tanya, Mirage. Should Nicki Minaj give him a verse for the What the Hailey remix? Because he already got something in stash with Scratch Off. I feel like if she wants, she can hop on it. I don't necessarily need it. But if she feel like she can add something, why not? I mean, she's a musician. If she feels as though she can add something and, bring it to life, why not hop on a record? But I also don't feel like that should be her first single coming back. After hiatus, I feel like she can drop it, but don't let that be the big banger of you coming back after a hiatus. So I feel as though since she didn't release a lot of music in 2024, the R0B49 collaboration could wait. Okay, because it's not like people care about R0B49 like that. He does have a buzz, especially in the streets. But he's not a mainstream artist, and he doesn't have to be. But I feel as though sometimes a lot of these artists, they're not having the longevity in the game like the OGs do. I rarely even hear people really talk about R0B49 like that, to be quite honest. No shade. Now, moving on from that, Doja Cat's boyfriend, Joseph Quinn, was exposed for being on a celebrity dating site called Raya. Okay, I think that's how you pronounce it. Now, I believe Doja Cat admitted that she does use that dating site, so maybe she just don't care. But a lot of people are saying, well, if he's in a relationship with Doja Cat, he shouldn't be on the site anymore. Now, it could be somebody using his picture. A lot of people do that where they try to lure people, especially young girls, by using a celebrity picture. Now, that could be also the case. But then Joseph Quinn needs to do his due diligence and get it removed. Okay? If it's not him. But it could be. Because Doja Cat uses it. A lot of celebrities use that dating site. And so with that being said, a lot of people are saying that he is planning on cheating on Doja Cat. Here's my thing with Doja Cat. I think since she wanted Joseph Quinn so much, even if he did cheat, I really don't think she would leave. I think she might make a song about it, but I think she would stay because she's been manifesting Joseph Quinn for years now. She finally got him last year. So with that being said, she probably feels as though he's her soulmate. So I don't think she would care even if he did cheat. But let me know how y'all feel about that. Now, Keri Hilson is receiving Donkey of the Day. She pretends and acts very delusional in the new Breakfast Club interview promoting her record that's currently flopping on the charts. And she's basically admitting to putting out a Queen Bee diss track, but says that she was forced to do so. Let's take a listen.
Down today at this point, are you looking like when you look back at that, and people will bring it up, so I'm sure you're kind of preparing yourself for that. Mm-hmm. How do you not even explain it, but like, how do you look back on that? What are your comments on it now, so far removed from it?
Regret. It's a regret, but not in the way that people would think, because that's a song that I actually didn't write. Those are not my words. I was on tour. Polo wanted me to do a remix to Turning Me On. Mm-hmm. he had produced the record, and because I was on tour with Lil Wayne, I wasn't able to like lay anything down. He had been on me for a couple of weeks about we need to do a remix. Okay, so I take off. It wasn't happening quick enough for him. I take off, we fly in, and he had another writer in our camp at the time. He had her write this. So he played it for me, like, this is the remix, because I'm thinking I'm coming in to go write a remix to turn me on. Like, but I come into the studio and he plays me this verse, and I'm like, automatically, I'm like, I'm not saying that. That it was quite forceful, involving others and kind of threatening my career in a real sense. Like,
now, Keri Hilson, you will be receiving Donkey of the Day. I don't believe that you did not want to put out the diss track. I believe you did want to put it out because you thought it would benefit your career going against the Queen. Second of all, she's trying to blame Esther Dean and Polo the Don and saying how he was going to blackball her career. Polo don't even have the power to blackball your career. Now, I could have seen if you had said Timberland, because Timberland definitely back in the day had the power to end people's careers. He ended a few people's careers. That tea is on Patreon. Polo doesn't have that type of power and never did. I think she regrets putting out that diss track. It basically ended her career. She got blackballed, and that's why she's really upset. And now she's trying to play the victim and use this sympathy ploy because she got new music out. She wants the Beehive to purchase her music. So that's what she's trying to do. And I think she thought dissing Beyonce was going to help her career. She needs to stop. Now, if you don't remember what she said in the Turning Me On remix, shading Queen Bee, she said, but she need to move to the left. She says she needs to go have some babies. She needs to sit down. She fake. Go ahead and tell the folks how long I've been writing your songs. I've been putting you on. Just check the credits, ho. So, this is her dissing Queen Bee. And that's what got her blackballed. Now she's trying to play victim. And we not having it. Donkey of the Day to Keri Hilson. If you want what really happened behind the scenes between Queen Bee and Keri Hilson is on my Pop Obsession channel. We actually discussed this last week, and I just feel like she needs to stop playing victim. Now, moving on from that, Bhad Bhabie announced that she would like to do a collaboration with Cardi, Thug, and Gunna. But Cardi B is the only female rapper she currently wants to work with. Let me know how y'all feel about that. I can see Cardi B doing it if Bhad Bhabie has a hot single out. I don't think she's going to collaborate with anybody that she considers a flop. And Bhad Bhabie musically is a flop because she got dropped from Titanic Records after she was sent here to replace Iggy, okay? And she failed to do so. She beefed with Iggy, but she failed to replace Iggy. Okay, she didn't have the hits like Iggy Azalea. But I will say this. She definitely annihilated Oklahoma. What was that girl's name? Tennessee. Whoever the girl she was beefing with, Travis Barker's daughter. The one with the badly shaped BBL and that wears the wigs and wants to be black. She annihilated her when they was beefing. Okay, her diss records were top tier when it came to Oklahoma. But I just feel as though, I don't know if I really consider Bhad Bhabie a real rapper like that. Because it's like, you could diss all you want, but you can't make no hits. Okay, I feel like if you're going to be considered a good female rapper, you got to make the hits. But I definitely feel as though Cardi B would definitely work with Bhad Bhabie. They're both culture vultures. But I feel as though she would work with her if, Bhad Bhabie has a hot single out. Okay, because Cardi B is a wave rider. So she don't collaborate with artists unless they have a buzz or a hot single that she feels like she can basically take and sabotage. Now, moving on from that, it has been reported that Queen Bee's businesses are flourishing. So Sir Davis 75% of its first annual projection reached with pre-sale orders 1 month before launch. Sacred doubled weekly projections at Ulta Beauty in e-commerce sales within 24 hours. Cowboy Carter Tour is now 94% sold out. 1 million tickets in pre-sales, projected to gross more than 400 million. Okay? And everybody was clowning Queen Bee. But look, she's very successful. If anybody else was doing it, people would give them their 10s. People don't want to give Queen Bee her 10s because she's been so successful for so long. And when somebody continues to win, a lot of people don't like that. People are actively waiting for Queen Bee's downfall for whatever reason. Okay? Because she blackballed a few artists, I guess, that nobody really supports or buys her music. But at the end of the day, Queen Bee is still on top of her game, and she is outdoing all of her peers. A lot of her peers, the people that she came in a game with, they're not doing what she's doing. Now, Donkey of the Day is also going to Baka Not Nice. He was in a recent interview, and he said basically that Champagne Thickums told him not to respond or don't listen to the noise because, Kung Fu Kenny mentioned it, not like us. Baka got a weird case. Why is he around? Then he also lied and said you can't call out a man without having paperwork to back up all your talk. If you go back and look at all these people saying things, they are not even actual people. They're bots, okay? So now he's trying to run with the bot narrative that has been debunked in court. But Baka, with the weird case, is receiving Donkey of the Day because there is paperwork. Baka, the blank trafficker. Here are the receipts. Champagne Thickums' entourage member was sentenced to 6 months in jail for assaulting a woman during a domestic dispute. His real name is Travis. He pled guilty to assaulting a 22-year-old Toronto woman. Unfortunately, the woman failed to comply with his recognized conditions for having firearm charges and also sex trafficking charges. She failed to give a statement. Allegedly, she was threatened, and that's why he only served 6 months in jail. But he did go to jail for it, and it is on his record. He didn't get more time in jail because the lady refused to testify in court, and allegedly she was being threatened. That's why she didn't testify. Now, with that being said, he was 37 at the time, so he probably old as hell now. He was sentenced to 6 months, but was allowed to go free since he spent 10 months in custody after his arrest in June 2014. Okay, so the fact that he acts like it was all a lie is just blasphemy. But Champagne Thickums still keeps Baka Not Nice around. He recently wished him a happy birthday, and my theory is that Baka Not Nice has some tea on Champagne Thickums, has some very detrimental tea on Champagne Thickums, and that's why he keeps him around. Okay? Because I don't think that Champagne Thickums would keep a guy like that around unless, he can obviously expose Champagne Thickums. And, he doesn't need that right now. Now, moving on from that, Hailey Bieber skips red carpet event following outing with hubby Justin amid divorce rumors. Now, Hailey Bieber did attend the Fashion Trust Awards. Okay, she was there, but she did not walk the red carpet. A lot of people were speculating it's because she's having issues with Justin, and there's been a lot of speculation that a divorce is brewing. Now, if you are on my Patreon, we already talked about what's really going on between Hailey and Justin Bieber. But I will say this. I feel like Hailey shouldn't even really be part of any type of fashion event. To me, she's very boring, very blah. I will say that. She is subpar, but she's not that girl fashion-wise. So I believe she was honoring somebody. But with that being said, though, Some fans are also accusing Justin of using Selena to sell records. They feel like he is also, lashing out in the public about Selena and dissing her because he is planning on using her for his album rollout. Okay, so let me know if y'all believe if that is true. I can see that kind of happening, but I feel like once the music drops, it's going to come and go. Like, I think his last album, Justice, a lot of people weren't talking about that album after like a few weeks. I think he had one song. I think the song was called Peaches. That was like the only song people were really talking about on that album. So I feel like it's not going to give what he think is going to give, okay? Because I feel like people are kind of over the Justin and Selena drama, okay? I think he still needs to go to rehab. Now, Esther Dean, who also, I believe, wrote the hook to Super Bass and several other hit records. Esther is very talented. Too bad she don't have much of a career now. But with that being said, she responded to fans in regards to them calling her out for basically writing the Queen Bee diss track by Keri Hilson, the Turning Me On remix. A fan said the writer was definitely Esther Dean. She said, it was a hit. I don't know about hit. Okay, it caused controversy, but nobody is checking for that diss record, talking about it was a hit. Esther, come to the front of the congregation and receive Donkey of the Day. She acting like she wrote Not Like Us. That was not no damn hit. Stop. Nobody quote me anything from the Turning Me On remix in 5 seconds. That was not no damn hit. Stop it. Then she responded to a fan that said writing diss tracks against Beyonce is crazy. She said, I love Beyonce, always will. And if she want a diss record on somebody, I'll write that. She don't need you. She already wrote Bow Down, which is iconic. Let's be very clear. She wrote Bow Down, and Keri Hilson, Keisha Cole, Rihanna, they didn't want no smoke. Now, I believe Rihanna responded to the record and she said, bow down to who? But bitch, you didn't get into the studio. You didn't retaliate. You didn't write your own diss record. When Queen Bee dropped Bow Down, the girls bowed down. That's what happened. Keisha Cole, she didn't want no smoke. None of the girls could clap back at the Bow Down record. They were scared. Okay, that's what it was. Okay, they would have clapped back at the Bow Down record, but nobody did because they knew better. They knew that their career was going to be over, just like Keri Hilson's. Then Esther Dean decided to apologize. She's changing her tune. She said, I submitted a lot of verses for that remix. One got picked, and it was co-written by Keri. See, I'm trying to tell you, Keri is not innocent. She co-wrote the verse. Esther just threw her right under the bus. She said, looking back, it was childish and didn't age well. I see it hurt people, especially women, and I take full accountability. I've worked with and supported many women since, but that doesn't erase the moment. I'm sorry for my part in it. Growth is real, and so is this apology. Keri Hilson wrote a novel and responded to Esther and said, I personally don't think this is our fight to have. I respected you on this matter for 16 years and attempted to do that again yesterday while finally expressing the truth when asked. But since you're coming to the table, let's be clear. You used the word co-wrote. I rewrote 3 lines in your verse, which was the only battle I won in the whole matter. But you weren't there when all of this was going down. We didn't write it together. Then she goes in and tells us the lines that she wrote. All in all, she's still trying to blame Esther. I'm not reading this novel. She's trying to blame Esther for writing the verses, but you still wrote on the song, Keri. Like, come on now. Take responsibility. You thought it was going to benefit your career. A lot of people do that where they'll diss somebody because they know it's going to level them up. Okay? We see it happen with Cardi B and Nickimimaj, Megan and Nicki, Katie and Taylor Swift. A lot of people think beefing with people that are popular is going to level them up to the next level. So just stop with the antics. You're receiving Donkey of the Day no matter what. But anyway, I got some hot tea on Patreon. Link will be in the description. Have a great day.